time. I don't know if you have had time to look at anything that we talked about last time, or if you have any further questions on any of it.
A little bit. I've been taking notes by hand and then I just typed them all up and I tried a few things in the first couple splits, but like nothing to clear up really at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, just let me know. I mean, obviously, this isn't your last chance to ask me questions, but all right. Well, let's start looking at Swamp then.
Next split
This is much too loud.
is Swamp. Let's go to Swamp.
And you said, and it looks like from your splits, that this was one of the biggest problems.
Oh yeah, you're both
We're gonna celebrate
you're
life.
both well, I think it's where I maybe have the most time to save. And I actually think this Swamp is decent. I think it is like an 801 or an 802 and I think I miss quick warps, which I'm decent at getting all 5 of them. It doesn't always happen, but it happens a decent amount.
That's good. Some of these are pretty hard. Quick works.
Yeah, 2 of them are a lot harder.
So hold on. Oh, I was doing different shopping than you at this point, so I don't have great comparisons in my splits. So hard to say exactly where I was at. So here, you have enough time here to sort of see that this guy might be a problem. What you want to do here is like walk down and beam him down. The beam is like a big square and it is moving cardinally. So if you beam down from like maybe a few pixels to the right of here, it'll hit him straight down and out of your way. This is like a really risky dash because you were basically totally screwed if you went up or right, which is really bad odds. So I'm gonna try to demo this a little bit. It's kind of hard to show things that are very RNG dependent, but when you're practicing this, by the way, don't start from the preset. Do something like this and make a save state as you're landing. So first of all, I walk over and I walk straight down and start a dash. You didn't dash during here, but I'm just like looking for if I think this guy's gonna get in my way. And if I do, I cancel the dash really fast and just like hold down right and beam down once or twice. So like this is, yeah. This is probably fine. Because he had like gone right and left, and so I thought I had time to get the dash out of the way. This is like a little risky. This is one of the worst screens in the game though. And will take a lot of practice to get used to. But yeah, this is like your best tool for dealing with it, is canceling your dash early and beaming down. Maybe you want to dash here, actually. No, I think you want to go farther over. Yeah. Like, this is terrible. That was terrible RNG. Getting a feel for when you're gonna have time to beat the squirrel and when you're not is pretty important. And like, you should play it pretty safe, I think. Like, if it looks iffy, you should just go ahead and stop and beam. Like there. So, yeah. Alright, anyway, it wasn't that bad. Well, these boulders are making it worse. But like, you didn't get your path blocked or anything, at least.
Not yet.
This is another place where you want to be holding up right off of these stairs. Just because, like, look at all this cardinal movement you do.
Bro, get out of my way. I want a gold swamp. I don't think it's going to happen now. I've lost too much time on Death Mountain. It's over. It's over.
So do you not know the new quick warp setup here?
Nope.
All right. I'll show it, but there's also a resource for it. So from here, what you're going to do is you want to diagonal up against this. So you line up with this, and then you hold right. So you're going to grind against the slope a little bit. And then you pause here and just run left. But there's 3 pixels that work for the window to get the diagonal. I just got them all 3 in a row, which I did not expect. But anyway, so if you do this setup, you line up against this, and then you grind the rail. And then you switch back to upright somewhere so that you'll grind up against these, you know, you just want to be holding diagonal this whole way. And you'll walk past 3 consecutive frames where you're on a pixel that swapping to a clean left input with the menu puts you on the quick warp. Alternatively, you can do like the old school way of doing it, which is to try to line it up from the bottom. But that's frame perfect. I never really did this. I don't have any
Yeah,
advice
that seems
about it.
difficult to do. Is there a setup for the one on the Hera overworld?
So if you're on a quick warp pixel, like if you get a quick warp, you're on the quick warp grid. So you just neutral dash, and then you can see every frame it alternates if I have quick warp or not.
Oh, right, because you're...
Right. And so you just neutral dash and then just walk cardinal up. And then you can either like learn a cue, like I know what it looks like. So if I get this pixel, I'll like kind of diagonal into the mirror to try to get the second one. Or you can just be like, you know what, 50-50 is good enough.
Actually, what I mean is the warp into this, not this quick warp, but the one you just showed me, where you go, the portal's open in the middle. You have to do that twice in the game, and the other time you do it is in the Hera split. But that one is a different pixel.
That one's different, yeah. No, you mean for this portal the first time?
Yes.
Okay, if you just don't have, so you're gonna have super speed and you're gonna run over here and you're just gonna cancel spin speed and then just walk normal speed into the portal.
Yeah, so you could use that same setup up until the point where you walk left.
No, because you have to do the grinding against this thing.
But that wouldn't work in the Hera split.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do that grind in the Hera split too. I assume that would work. I don't think I've ever tried
Do you
it.
do something different there?
But yeah, I just like move, like you're losing a tiny bit of time to that movement because you're setting stuff up. I doubt it will affect the quick warp though. Let me check. Yeah, that looks fine. So yeah, you could do this moving either way.
Okay, that's nice.
I just do this
One more
diagonal here instead of running into the cliff because you can see you sort of walk slower. But yeah, you could do that. Just do it the same way both times.
Okay.
Maybe just to not have to think about it. Makes sense. Okay.
It's over. Yo, thank you for the good luck. Welcome on in. Well, I didn't get. I was way off that time.
Almost got to the next quick warp. This is good. The scroll's out of your way, which is nice.
I feel like it gets over 28. I don't know. Not looking at the splits though.
Do you do the free flute dash?
I don't.
Okay.
Should I be doing it?
That doesn't really matter. What you do is you
It
just
saves something, right? I mean,
it's
it's like
like
10 frames or something.
yeah, that's like 20. You just like walk over here, and when the second, like the repetition of the flute jingle starts, you just charge a dash left. Don't do that in runs without practicing it because missing a flute dash is pretty painful, but you should get it very easily if you give it a couple. Yeah, couple reps.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it. I just haven't really actually tried it in runs.
That's the only flute dash I would really bother going for.
If we can get like a bunch of quick orbs in the overworld, that'd be good.
Did you miss that?
The quick orb?
Yeah.
Who has time for that shit?
Oh, you must have gotten it.
If we can get like a bunch of quick orbs in
Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, Pops. I can fix that. Okay, sorry, did I miss anything? You walked a little too far there, but that's kind of obvious. This is good, you're on the pixel. I think you can still quick warp on the way out, but that is about as high as you can take it.
Can I get
Are you trying to beat the Anti-Fairy? Oh, cool. Okay.
I mean, I'd love to, but I don't know if I've ever done it in a run. It's hard to be consistent at for me, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I think you could have just held down there. I think you got off the quick warp. Yeah.
Well, oh, we don't have beams either. I hope this goes well.
That looked kind of wonky to me. I think you're...
I hope this goes well.
Maybe I just don't know what swims look like. Because it kind of looks to me like you're slowing down towards the end here, which makes me worry that you like were thinking you had overshot and were like actually trying to like hold upright or something. But maybe I just don't know what swims look like, and maybe it's fine. Oh.
Yeah, we were slow on that roll.
Yeah, well, you got kind of unlucky with the Velp.
I need a bomb, and I should have got that one.
Ask Blue is worried about bombs.
So I guess
Interesting.
I take the shit in restock room. I don't really. Yeah, I think I like to have two.
Are you worried about messing up
Because-
Spooky?
Need a bomb? Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's nice to have it there in case. I mean, I've gotten sub 90s without it. My first one didn't have it. It's only
Yeah.
13 seconds. I mean, it's not a huge loss that's going to ruin the run.
It's not even that much. Although I guess after trying it and missing it, it might be that much. So did you do this on purpose? You're very, very high here, but it might be because you were worried about the bone. If it's not because of that, then you should... Like, in general, you want to be very low here. You can be like 1 or 2 pixels off of the rail to push the lever. But if you're just trying to dodge the bone, then that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Grabbing the wall. If you're this far right when you grab the wall, it's like probably not saving you time.
I should have got that one. But hey, more arrows never hurts, right?
Although I guess you were high up, so that makes it a little different. That's a really good dash cancel. Oh, nice. Bailed out.
How about that? Yeah, I think in this run I also forgot about the arrows that you automatically get in swamp, and I'm like talking about restock room.
So this is sick. You actually walk directly to the correct pixel here, which is perfect. So obviously do that if you're doing that. I personally hold diagonal here because if I hold right, I tend to overshoot, and I'd rather just diagonal and line up better than risk overshooting. But if it's working for you, then don't worry about it.
On arrows? He's 17 seems alright.
Oh, hold on just a sec. What was our swamp entrance?
Cut that dash a little early.
Because you had a pretty bad Death Mountain.
I don't know. Right, what do you look for a swamp entrance?
Well, I'm pretty bad at this overworld, but I can get like, I don't know, 204-ish on a good day. So 213 is a lot of time loss already for this early in the split.
Yeah.
Really good players, I think, are getting like 202s and stuff.
He's 17 seems alright, because I would have what? When you've been giving me all these times, I mean, I know we just started tonight, but like last time, are you giving me times that are like your time or like
Yeah.
possible like area
No.
times or something? Okay.
I'm telling you what I look for
Okay.
in general. So this stream is kind of a trap. I can see you're like, well, maybe you're not really. So a lot of people try to pump in here, and I think pumping is kind of a trap in here. But you can be significantly higher than this when you slash the switch. And like, you want to be as high as possible because that's more diagonal movement instead of cardinal movement. Just a tiny thing, but you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've tried it both ways, pumping and not pumping, and tried to time it out and stuff too. So
Yeah.
doesn't mean that's what I always do in a run though. Oh right, that arrow pot. I always forget about that motherfucker.
Okay. So if you're gonna just blindly slash that guy, then just don't do this strat. Just do the non-hammer dash strat. Because, like, I think he was facing right there. I think you were fine. So I guess let me show you how I do this stream. I think this preset sucks, but let's see. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, you can be like all the way up here, probably even higher than that. Oh my god.
I feel like this is one of those movements that feels very impossible most of the time to like get this room very well.
Yeah, for sure. Getting on the blue at all is very difficult. This is gonna have the wrong number of enemies, I assume. No, it's not. Okay, so just hold down left. And then if you have a free line, just hammer dash, obviously. And if this guy's in your way, then hammer him and then dash. Because like, oh, that's not good. Like slashing him is gonna cost as much time as the hammer dash can save. And also, I think if you start your dash from this far left, I think you're at risk of getting hit by the fire bar.
That makes sense because I do
enough.
get hit a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like hold down left until here and dash is how I do it. And then about half the time you have to kill the Stalfos, but about half the time you get to save about 20 frames.
No, I got that bomb. I'm good then. Restock room.
Here, another minor thing, just like move correctly. Once you're around here, you want to hold up left until you're abutting the wall. Because here you're going to get some... Well, you start your diagonal at a pretty good time. But like you're risking cardinal movement into the door. You just want to maximize your diagonals. Yeah, that sucks. I don't really know how to deal with that berry. You have to kind of read if he's going to hit you. And move, like cancel your dash if so, but I'm not good at reading it. Oh. Do you go for zero cycle, by the way?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I've even done it fully in practice. Maybe once, but it's hard. It's pretty difficult.
It is, yeah.
I have heard people say that they wish that they started doing it earlier. And a lot of stuff I do feel like I did try earlier, and it's like I like that mentality of like, oh, just like be bad at it for a while, but like that's how you get good, is it just takes time.
Yeah. It does take time, although there's also a lot of little things of understanding that you have to pick up that are not like well, anyway. The nice thing about it is that it's not that hard to get good at it that you're not going to lose time with it. Like you're still going to be getting 1 cycles, but it's not that important. Anyway,
yeah, that's why I haven't done it in runs really ever. Is I don't think I'm good enough to not lose time yet.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. I didn't learn it until I had battle 126. Like it's not important. I was curious mostly for timing things. A good swamp from when you open the big key to sort up will be 3 minutes. You can do a little bit under, especially if you like skip pots, but that's sort of accounting for a zero cycle. So I would expect this to be about a 756 from here, and it's not going to be, which means that we're going to lose a bunch more time somewhere. Oh, so here you want to just nudge this pot. You want to just like hold down left and start a dash kind of early. Because if you nudge the pot here, then you always get a good landing. You got a good landing here, actually, but if you nudge the pot, you always get a good hop down here to line you up with the stairs better.
But I've forgotten at least 2 or 3 times on runs.
Yo, what's up, Concision? Alright, I will. So here, you do a little turnaround here. You can just pick up the... You can just stand like here and start your dash. You don't really need to wiggle around. And I guess it's fine. That looks like an input error. Like you tried to start your dash before it was your slash was over or something.
Something. Yeah, or I just I call them think frames. I just like not pushing the button very fast.
Yeah, that happens. Oh, you're too high. Okay, yeah, you caught it. When this blue guy is in the way like this, I throw the pot at him. So I would like walk down a step and then back up a step because you're gonna have to turn up to throw it. So I'd like walk down a little and then turn up and throw it because he could electrocute here and ruin your life. Okay, let me just talk about these rooms for a second. So this part looked good. I'm not gonna get the good RNG or the bad RNG, but yeah, I would do something like that. Or like maybe what I do is throw up and then walk down and start the dash. Yeah, that's probably what I do. Something like that. In this room, what you want to do to time it, you want to just hold upright and do 2 slashes and then dash when you hit the wall. You're doing this, which like, I understand what you're going for, which is like maximizing your dash or whatever, but I don't know. It's super easy to just grab the wall and lose way more time than you could possibly save.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
You didn't cancel Stair Drag there, I assume just an input thing.
Well, I find this to be a difficult one to do it. I don't know. How do you do it there? Because if I actually hold left, I mean, it's gotten a little bit easier since I switched to console, and I think the input delay does matter a little bit. But like, I would like get jammed up on it and lose time just getting jammed up.
Yeah,
so
I tap A.
I think I've been trying to just tap dash and then do it. I don't know. This one is a tough one to not get like stuck on the lever in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I tap A for this one. I see people do the wiggle, but I like tapping A for almost all of them after I have boots.
Also, welcome in. Hope you are well.
You hear we have a free dash. If this guy's electrocuting, you can dash up. But it doesn't matter. Nice. Woo. So this is at least one move. I think it's one move after the 1 cycle, which is not ideal. I think this swimming needs work. See, you kind of overshot this a little, and then had to swim slowly, and then here, like swimming into this here, like I get you're trying to dodge the Felp or whatever. And these are pretty bad Felp patterns, but you're losing so much movement swinging out super wide. I generally don't try that hard to dodge the Felps and just kind of like deal with it if I get hit. Also, if you're not going to do the 0 cycle, just stand in the door, just stand still and hook. Like, I mean, this is probably fine, but I don't know. How many hooks do we get here? 1, 2.
I think it's 3 for a move.
So, if you just stand in the door, you can usually get 4.
Yeah, I've heard that number before.
Oh shit, is my mic freaking out?
Oh, it might be a little bit. I
sec.
wasn't thinking too much about it, but yeah, maybe.
Maybe better?
That seems better.
Alright. I want to try Argus for a second. So I haven't done this in a long time, but my memory is that if you just stand still at the door, you can usually get 4. I got kind of owned there. And like there I got a sort of instant 1 cycle, I guess. Like he flew up as soon as he stopped whirlwinding. Which you're not going to get every time, but that's ideal. Oh yeah, I'm getting super owned. I'm pretty bad at this, but it's also like a lot more RNG dependent. Like there we got it again. So that's kind of how I do it, is I just stand still, hook. You can usually get 4 unless he's really rushing you down. Something like that. I don't know how different that really is than what you did. Maybe you just kind of got a little unlucky. But you did only
Well,
get 3
I don't
here.
stand in the door. I think that's a good, easy tip to try.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to think about too, because I've also had the mentality of, if I'm gonna like pour time into improving this room, then I'm just gonna try to 0 cycle, right? Like I haven't really gotten the nuance of like, oh, he moved once after. It's like as long as I'm getting a 1 cycle, I feel like it's good enough.
Yeah.
Now. And if I'm gonna pour time practicing, then it would be to try and get those 0 cycles.
Yeah. I think if you kill him at the top, then you can save a couple frames on Crystal Catch, but who cares, right? Alright. Let's look at Meyer. Oh, if you're gonna use the menu here, so you should either menu during, you know about the free menu in Argus fight, or not quite free, but the time save?
No.
So if you menu while Argus is...
Oh, when he's in the air, it's free? Or when he's going up? Because he has to go up anyway, and he just keeps going
it's
up
like
in the menu.
when he's
yeah,
above.
I guess I did
like
know
here.
about that.
Yeah. So I would either menu to the mirror there, or use it to line up the quick warp. But using it for neither is just kind of, you know, you could use it for one or the other.
I usually try to do it for the quick warp, but I think I just forgot or something.
Yeah, I totally approve of that. That's how I use it. But either way is totally fine. This is good. We got the quick warp. We got the spooky. We got everything. Should be fine. That's fine. A missed dash is not good, but it happens. I have movement here that I really like. What I do is I cancel this dash with right, and I try to walk approximately 2 frames. I want to actually be facing right, which would be 2 frames of right, into the menu. And then I hold up right out of the menu to like walk up against the wall. Because you see here you have this problem where you want to be a little higher, but you also have to turn right before you start the dash, which is just like an awkward sequence of inputs to do, especially right out of a menu. Does that make sense?
Yep. I think you really just hate people pausing to stop a bonk, though.
Well, I'm not using it to stop the bonk, right? I'm using it to switch directions, clearly.
No, but I am.
I
was doing it, essentially.
But and then here, canceling this dash, this is no good. This is like a habit you have from when you were 135 and you were scared of dashing straight into the pit. You should be canceling this dash like here, and with a cardinal down input. That's a lot of extra walking.
Kinda. You're not wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this room got really messed up in this one. I knew I had a feeling this was in this run.
So we can talk about this if you want. I would probably rather just watch you practice it a couple times than like anything else. But the main thing to know is that at this point, you've restarted your dash. You know you've lost your mind. You're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Before starting this, if you lose time here, there's a bunch of ways it can happen. You can accidentally beam down instead of right, is the one that
Right.
happens a lot. If something goes
shouldn't
wrong
dash
here, you beam up before dashing up, and it'll kill
Oh,
this
right,
guy.
right. Because you got to take care of that guy, otherwise he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but you can beam up and then dash up, and then these three guys will be on the normal cycle, the Wizrobes, and they'll be totally fine to kill. This guy will sometimes get a little bit more out of the way, but like the room will be roughly normal rather than having this guy to track down at the end. And then like obviously here you just didn't press right before trying to beam, which it happens. And then you're sort of just lost track because there's a lot to deal with here when you're trying to figure out what all the entities in the room are. Normally you don't have to think about the BMOS while doing this strat, so. If this guy's over here, then you can take the top route and save 10 frames.
You know, it's not too bad if that's one of my worst parts of the game, you know? Fucking like 5 seconds.
Ooh. Nice.
So you say, I mean, you seemed like worried that I was going to get hit by that, but did I do it wrong? Because normally what I do is if I feel like my movement's clean, I just move the slightest amount up and then start to dash. And that tends to not get me hit.
Well,
I mean, I know that it's pretty close there.
I mean, I think you want like a frame roll or two. I would
Yeah.
delay a little bit more, is all.
Okay.
What Doom Dap does is he slashes once and then just starts dashing here instead of moving up at the end, just because it's like more normalized, which I think is pretty good. Alternatively, you can try to beat the fireball if you want. You got a clean dash cancel, so no, never mind. No, you didn't. So you don't want to beat the fireball. Yeah, just like delay a little bit more because I'm pretty sure you have to win a frame rule to be safe there. Oh, you didn't need to move up right at all there. You could have just pressed up. Your beam is gonna go, like if you slashed up facing this direction, your beam would hit the right side of the switch. Like you're not anywhere close to missing it. But the thing I actually wanted to point out was that you can just kiss the door here, and unlocking the door on the conveyor or whatever will sort of snap you into place, and you would save some of this upwards movement.
Sorry, say it again. You just kind of push into the door like face left?
Yeah.
And then it takes care of itself? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think True Blue taught me that. Not like fully, but I guess what I try to do is kind of be a little high and walk left. Yeah. Whew. Maybe I just don't remember how this room works. Maybe I was lying to you. Whew. But yeah, the main thing I think about in this room really is just catching the key while it's
Bouncing upward.
bouncing upwards, yeah. Which I think you did. I think I was wrong about the snapping thing, and you just actually did it right. So never mind. We got a little door drag there. I think.
Well, this is a bit. Oh, that one. Oh, the second one. Okay.
Yeah. Woo! Do you always walk this?
I dash down the first dash and then try to see what the slug is doing, and if it looks like I can walk through, I'll walk through. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
usually dash right there.
Okay. If it works for you, that's fine. What's up, Corey? Thanks for the streak. What's up, Poppy? Thanks for the GL.
In an awkward place.
Oh, wait, hold on. So it's like a 106 there. So this is like mid 126 base. But that's like if you're a, you know, low
Yeah,
124
if you
runner.
can finish the game in 20 minutes from there.
Yo, what's up, Owase? Thank you. In this room, you have to say Blaze It because it's the 420th room in the run.
Oh, I remember
Actually,
you
it's
talking
not.
about that, and I thought it was the hub.
No, it's
I thought
that
it was
one.
this room.
Yeah, but it's not because you do. No, it is. It is. It is because you don't have Ice Ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it is. It is.
No, dude.
That's not right. So just hold down right here. You always want to diagonal into hook shots, not cardinal.
No, dude. Wait, why is that?
Because the hook shot's only 2 pixels per frame, so diagonal is the same speed. So if you do diagonal, diagonal, then you get 2 pixels per frame the whole way. If you do cardinal and diagonal, then you get 1.5
like
part of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which room it is if you do boomer shopping.
No, dude. Alright, we fucked that up a bit.
Oh, why? Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I think
That's
that was
gotta be
just
a D-pad
an
thing.
input because I noticed that too. I was like, why am I going down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Myra is one of my dungeons that's like closest to a top player in my gold, but
Don't slash here, please. Okay.
it's actually like kind of easier than other dungeons, so sometimes it doesn't feel as good anymore. But I do love. I mean, Myra 2 feels good when you get that right. It can feel pretty good, that's for sure. No doubt.
That looks pretty normal. Good spot to stop. I would probably have slashed him out of fear, but I think not slashing him was correct. I don't really know how the walk strat works, so I don't know if you did every part of that perfectly, but it looked pretty good. If you're gonna go above the torch, like just cancel your dash where you want to cancel your dash, I guess. Like it looks like you're canceling with the diagonal on purpose, which makes me think you're canceling early for no reason. Like this looked too premeditated to me. And just like in general, you're swinging too wide here and stuff. It's fine though. You can go under the torch too, but you don't have to. It's not
Yeah,
important.
I've tested that and practiced a little bit. I just haven't put it into runs yet. I think I just need to do it more.
Yeah.
And just start committing to doing it full time because I can do it now. Like when I learned this, I couldn't do it,
Right.
but now I can do it. So
Oh, yeah, you went too far. Oh my god, okay. Okay. You need to learn how to do this strat. Whew. Okay, so this much was perfect. Here, great. You're a tiny bit too far to the right here, but not like a problem. Like you should be targeting a few pixels to the left, but this is fine if it happens. Good swing, or good spin, good swing, good movement. You want to spin maybe more like here. You go over a little too far and miss this guy. That's gonna happen sometimes, like you're not gonna be perfect, but it is like you want to hit this guy. That's more important than being a little farther right.
yeah, because he's hard to get.
Yeah.
To recover it.
Yeah. And then here you kind of lose your mind. You go a little low here, and then you're like walking a little too low, and also you do a cardinal down. I would do it down right here. And then I think that it's probably just because you went farther down than you wanted. You kind of are expecting to hit the goop, you know, here, but you don't actually hit it for a while, so you're like, you're exposed. What I'm trying to say is that I think if this eye had been the one that moved, it probably would have had time to get you.
What do you look up? What do you look for lineups in those last couple positions there? Because maybe I just do that wrong a lot, and I need to fix it.
Yeah, I would expect that you just probably do it wrong. So I do this. I walk to this diamond on the floor here. And you did this part right, so. And like that. And then I hold down right. And I go kind of up here. I don't know if I have a specific cue that I can articulate. I kind of want to move
Yeah,
up left.
I guess I am going too far down. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the big problem there.
That is definitely not helping. So, you see these two eyeballs? They formed kind of a line. You can imagine a line there.
Sure.
I'm kind of trying to go almost perpendicular to that line. When I like enter sort of right along this line here.
I got you.
So I'm going like that, and then kind of up into that. Time I didn't go high enough. You can go for left arrows if you want, but they're basically just swag. That's actually not really true anymore, actually. I used to look at that and I do the strat differently now. What I do is I go down right, and then I actually go up right here. So I'm going up right into the goop around here, and then taking a tiny step left and releasing. Oof. Yeah, you see I'm releasing the second spin pretty far left of where you did, because I really want to kill the left eyes. Getting damage on the right side eyes is great. It makes cleanup a lot easier, but it's most important to make sure you finish the left eyes, I think. Does that make sense? That's probably something you'll need to practice a bunch of times and see if the movement makes sense.
Yep.
And then we eventually clean up. It takes 2 slashes to finish an eyeball that you've double spinned. And once this guy was like flying around the room, it maybe would have made sense to audible the slashes. But we got through it. I realize you might be panicking a little because of what just happened, but you can shoot your arrows faster if you're higher than this. The goop starts up a little higher than you think, I think. It's like somewhere around here, not like down here. But optimizing the arrow shots is not that important. Okay.
Well, speaking of losing my mind, this entire split is like that, so like just a comedy of errors here.
We have 2 bombs going to Ice Red Cave. Oh, we take this route. This is fine. That's a pretty safe way to do that screen, but I don't really hold it against anyone who wants to take it easy. That's not the way to do this screen. You want to just walk, like, pump a little bit up. You don't want to do that dash. And this dash down is not the best. It's fine, but you want to walk down, cancel Stair Dragon, and dash out the door instead of taking the dash down here. But it doesn't matter. You don't need to like worry about changing your strat in that room.
Yeah, but that sounds like easy stuff to clean up.
It is, yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's something that I can spend 5 minutes and then I'm saving 10 frames every time or something.
Yeah, probably. So it's hard to say because you got an easy pattern this time, but this was the correct choice. So that was good. Here again, diagonal off of super speed stairs. This time it might have actually worked out in your favor because you might have reamed that guy if you didn't react fast enough. You want to jump off of this ledge about a tile or so higher because this hop takes you down, and you want the hop to take you lined up with this path. And you want to not do that. So if he's right here, I would actually go like pretty high and hop down to like here-ish, and then probably beam him downwards. Because like you're in a position where you can't really deal with him. Oh my god. Oh no, dude. Okay, well.
Get out of my way. Oh my god, we lost like fucking 30 seconds right there. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Fast Blue is not happy about that experience. You lost, yeah, probably about 20 seconds there. So let's see. You cancel this dash a little low, so this is totally fine.
Oh well. Can't win them all.
I don't think you needed to slash that guy. He was moving up. Generally what I try to do is start my dash as high as possible, but anywhere that's not lined up with the guy. And then I only slash if he like is in my way. But here he's just like,
Can't win them all.
he's already moving vertically, so he's not going to be a problem if you just start your dash there. So I'm not, Owase, cover your ears. Generally, if you get like a 115 cave entry, you're like doing fine. So you lost about 20 seconds to the squirrels.
That was a questionable one. No dead rocks. Yeah, right. The real
It's
life.
fine. Yep.
I handled it wrong too, so that's not me.
I told you not to listen. Oh,
I have no idea how to do this quick warp. I think this is like one of the last ones in the game that I have no idea how to like hit reliably.
well, it's the last warp in the game, so. First off, you can just hold upright here. Like you should be good enough at this point to control that. And then I'll show you the strat. This is a Yoho strat. Also, when I talked to WQ, he was saying something about basically this strat being bad, but I didn't look into what he meant. Okay, so I need a hammer here. And then you come down here, and you're going to be lined up against this. And then if you stop lined up with the quick warp, then you're on a, or lined up with the portal, then you're on a quick warp. And if
Yeah.
you overshoot it by 1 and get 1 frame up left movement, you're also on the quick warp. Oh, I didn't set a save state. I'm gonna die, yeah.
So you try to line up center, and if you overshoot it, you just diagonal back, and then
Yep.
that helped you get it basically. Okay.
You could many to Quake for the purpose. Something like that. It's a little bit slower than doing the movement where you hammer the last peg from the top and just like game, but do you do an item dash here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, on it. No. Get it together.
So I've seen your splits and you lose something like 30 seconds in this split, but you've already lost like 25 or
20
something.
of them. Yeah.
So probably the inside goes okay.
I think there's a couple rooms that have some problems. Like that. I almost never miss that, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
It happens. Oh, this is weird movement. What are you doing here? Want to maximize your diagonal there? You can get some pumps in.
I'm not fast enough.
Do you always mirror out here, or did you see that you were off cycle?
Yeah, if my movement's good, I'll try it, but it doesn't happen a lot in runs, I guess. I just need to keep, I mean, I spend a lot of time on this room, but it's a hard room. I think this is one of the harder ones movement-wise in the game, so.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. So here, obviously, you overshoot where you want to dash up.
Yeah.
And then you correct it before starting your dash, which sort of puts you kind of behind. And then, like, if you had opened the chest of this frame, like if you had moved one more frame up before hitting A, you can get out from here. Like, I look at where this roller is relative to the end of this
Yep.
spike. You could probably get out the normal way if you were here, but obviously at this point you're pretty screwed. So I think the mirror out is an appropriate choice. You mess up that room.
Yeah, I think it's basically just like I look at where that roller is and then I decide in that moment what I want to do most of the time. And
Yeah.
in runs, it just tends to be that my movement is not clean enough there yet to often do otherwise.
Oh! Oops.
I'm fucking holding up. What the hell? Oh well. All right, we're trashing this run now.
You don't need to move all the way to the wall here. You're fine, like this horizontal position.
Trashing this run now.
Oh boy. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh, are we gonna survive? Let's go! This is Block Blast RNG, but I don't believe in Block Blast RNG. Let me show you how I handle these RNGs. What I do is I walk up to the top, and I walk to the side, and I place a block, and then I do blue peg iframes. So I walk up here, and then blow up the thing on the orange pegs, and then once I get iframes, walk down. Oh, I didn't press the button. Ooh, sloppy today. It won't give me the RNG I want. But anyway, you can just place that, get your peg iframes there, get your second peg iframes here. That guy was like camping out on the block, so that was maximally bad, but you will have iframes through to like here. So if the chomp is anywhere except literally camping the chest, you should be fine. But of course, I'm not getting the RNG for it. I'm trying to force it so it looks really bad. That was too far right. I promise this is actually a good strat, even though I can't demonstrate it.
Yeah, and I mean I know about not exactly this strat, but instead of going down to the orange pegs, taking like a hard left all the way and then kind of V'ing around that guy. But I also just lost my mind in the moment because I obviously placed the like first block and I was like, oh shit, now I'm fucked.
Yeah, it happens. It's a very tough room. It just won't give me good illustrative RNG. Anyway, something to mess with.
So you're looking for where basically they both go out towards the edges of the screen, so they're in the way of.
Yeah, so what I
each
look
of
for
the
is
paths.
first I look to see if I can go left, and if I can, then I go left. And then I look and see if I can go right, and if I can, then I go right. And if I can't go either way, then I go up and do the orange pegs thing. I'm just like... The RNG's like half frozen or something. It's being really weird. Getting the same pattern like 4 times in a row.
I'm also like, I've tried to do the beam strat. Do you ever do the beam strat in here? Because it is faster, right?
I do it sometimes, but
Maybe I just need to work on it more.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. The thing about the beam strat is that the chomps like to block your beams.
Right.
You can only do it if they're like on this RNG. No, I wouldn't go for it here. See, and I would be right not to. Like you have to have seen him move. Like here, you can go for it. But he has to be like fully out of your way for it to be worth trying.
Yeah.
And that's just like rare enough that I wouldn't really worry about learning it personally. Like I've learned it because I'm a tryhard and I learn everything, but I don't think it's like very valuable. Anyway, as Awase was saying, what you got was in fact Brahmin Block Blast RNG, but that's like the worst strat in the world. I suck at it so much.
I mean, I think the other thing about it is like I find this to be a tough room to read the RNG as fast as you need to do the right thing. So like
Here
the
we
idea
go.
of doing this, like even if I could execute it reliably, like that part is really challenging.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Braum Black Blast. It takes forever to realize that you're on BBB RNG, and actually figuring it out and then executing it correctly is too hard, I think. Anyway, yeah, you got pretty unlucky here. Pretty bad RNG, but that's the way I would try to deal with it. We're gonna see what else. Like, you're kind of committed here, but honestly, even at this point, I would be like, well, nothing else for it, and I would try to squeeze by him because he's gone farther left. I would just try to squeeze by him and do the orange pegs thing, starting from here. Like, placing this, you already know that block's not gonna work. You're just like, can't think of anything else to try, so you placed it anyway. But like, I think you knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, and I think I knew that this was a decent run too. I mean, I had my splits hidden, but I was just like, just find a way to not die.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
When I said I like Turtle Rock, I lied. I do not like Turtle Rock. I haven't played it in
You
2
should get these arrows. Well, I guess I don't know what arrows you get in GT. You probably
I always grab these ones, actually.
should get
I mean,
them.
they have to be like ridiculously high to not grab them, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Gotta
it's
smoke that good stuff.
unfortunately it's not uncommon for me to like accidentally waste 1 or 2 on Armos too.
Yeah. I guess if you're not doing the chest, then you need them. And if you are doing the chest, then they're good. Oh no. Just release the spin really early. Or like really high. Some combination of early and high. I'm guessing you don't normally struggle with this, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
Yeah, I don't think that's typically happened to me before.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to move up. I actually do move up a little because I think it lets you collect the drops a little bit better, but
No beans.
I think I don't think you really needed to. You can cancel this dash with an upright. You can hit this switch with your sword from lined up with the wall. But certainly you don't need to move this far.
Chomps Room can be fun, but not in actual runs. It sucks.
And then do you know your Poke 2 RNGs?
I mean, like, I don't have all 16 memorized, but I think I generally know making good decisions. Like, I try to go for the one that's further from the door first, which is usually the left one.
You see what I'm annoyed about here?
Nudging, or just I overshot it?
Cardinals! Why are you cardinaling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is totally fine. You could learn all of the RNGs if you want. Do that. But, like, what are you going to say, 5 frames? Like, you gotta wait out the roller anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I haven't played Turtle Rock in too long, though. I did nothing with the warm-ups, so of course it will go like that.
Oh, no. What is this? Oh, no! Okay. First of all, do you want to just do the grown-up strat in here? Second of all, if you want to do this dash, face right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Turn right and start a dash and dash turn.
Okay. That was pretty slow. This is a pretty slow Turtle Rock. This is like a fucking like.
Do you want to learn the real strat, or do you just want to do this?
No, please tell me, because I mean, I can do the beam strat just fine. When I have the blocks,
Yeah,
I've
beams
tried
is
with the
easy.
blocks, and I just can't make the squeeze in time.
You don't have to make the squeeze, so... For one thing, it depends somewhat on how clean these 2 dashes are. Oh my god. You can just take the iframes here and walk. You don't need to
Oh,
worry
right.
about doing a squeeze. How does this work? Huh.
Yeah, dashing sucks anyway, so I'll just take the iframes, I guess. You just have to already have the second block set up.
Yeah, I'm like trying to do this strat and I can't figure it out. Hold on. I'm just trying to get an idea for how much it loses. I slashed an extra time. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so that's only losing like 30 frames. But if you get the squeeze, obviously it's faster. Yeah. So that's like
I
a
think
second
the
and a
thing
half.
about this strat is one of the problems I have is the second block exploding, the roll, like doing it too late at that point already, and the roller eating it and it not even hitting the thing. So something about my movement must not normally be clean enough to even get that. Because that's part of the struggle, I think, is that like by the time I blow that up, the roller is already gonna kill it. Because I must be like, 5 or 6 frames slower than what you're doing.
I think it would have to be a lot more than that. I think that if you tried this again, you would be able to do it. I think you might be remembering a worse version of yourself. But also remember, the timer, this guy
Yeah, it
starts
starts
moving
when you're in that room.
in this room. So like if you start this dash late and this dash late,
you put yourself in a bad position.
yeah.
I mean, I know that, and I try to start them right away. Did I do it in this run when you're looking at it? Did I start them late?
We can check, but it's not super tight to get out. Like, and you can just always go for the iframes, or you can learn to read when you'll make the squeeze or whatever. But let's rewind. That one's pretty good. That one's fine. You took a tiny step, but nothing bad. Yeah, I mean, you can stick to the strat and just like practice it so you can actually not grab the wall and just take your, second-ish time loss if you have a lot of trouble with the other strat. It's totally fine.
We have so many
But it is an option to upgrade.
dead rocks. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to have to upgrade some stuff, so I'm just going to kind of consider everything and give it some, put some time into it and just see what, which things are clicking easy and which things need even more time or whatever.
Yeah. You don't really need to upgrade stuff. Like, you could certainly PB, you can get to like a 125 certainly with pretty bad strats. Not that your strats are bad in general.
No, I know what you mean. But I mean, even some of this stuff about cleaning up movement and stuff, that needs practicing just to get it in the habit.
Well, we'll talk about this on the way back, but you can actually cut this diagonal like all the way. I don't think what you did was particularly bad or anything, but like in an ideal world, you cut it the whole way. Okay. So I don't know how you think about this room or this strat, but the thing you're trying to accomplish here, what you're trying to do is you want the beetle to bounce into the corner of the block so that he takes a huge diagonal momentum, right? And so he falls into the pit. And so by placing the block on the right side, you're making that, you're sort of guaranteeing that that won't happen. Although you did place it high enough that it would have worked if you hadn't blown it up. I guess that works. Huh. But generally you want to place it on the left, because then you're closer to where you're going. And the beetle gets to it faster. And you just want to, like, just let him hit it before, like, don't rush it. Right? What I used to do when I did this strat, actually, I would place the block high on purpose and push down, because you have plenty of time before the beetle gets to it, and then you, like, don't have to worry about it.
This is a weird room for me too, because before I took a huge long break, I just went for a fast laser skip. like all the time, and I was pretty decent at it, and then I just didn't really remember how to do it, so I just started placing blocks without really looking it up.
Yeah, that's fair. So the way you do fast laser skip is you slam right an A at the beginning to move down 1 pixel. Down an A also works. And then you cancel your dash with right. Because
You want to stay on the grid.
you want to stay on grid, and right is safer than left and only costs about 1 frame because you're moving so fast once you start dashing. There's 2 consecutive frames. The reason you do the 1 frame movement at the top is because it gives you 2 frames where the eyeball won't hit you. But where you can nudge the thing. So that's how to do fast laser skip. Fast laser skip is like a lot more doable than I sort of thought when I was at your level, but it's also like obviously not easy and not at all obligatory.
Yeah, I think it's something I can do because I used to be able to do it, and I was like, everyone was like, no way, I wouldn't do that, and I was like, I'm not having problems with it, so maybe it's okay.
Yeah, I mean if you it saves like a second. If you can do it, you should totally do it. Hold upright here. Just straight upright. You can hold upright. You can either hold upright until you're like here and then nudge this on the dash left to get the key dash, or you can hold upright until you line up with this and then walk straight up and dash out aligned with the door. The difference between those 2 strats is like 2 frames, like 1 or 2 frames. It's totally personal preference. But you did sort of everything wrong in this room. This is like a surprising number of things to find to do wrong. Sorry to kind of blow you up here, but so you're doing these cardinals instead of the long diagonal, which is bad. Then you're on the grid here, so you have the key dash, and then you get off grid, and then you nudge back on grid, and then you cancel your dash after getting the key dash back.
Okay, so I'm gonna defend myself a little bit. No, I know that room is like I'm wasting a lot of time there. For whatever reason, I swear I've been aligned with the thing on the right, on the grid, and dash turned and got bonked. So then like I don't trust that. And then on that dash, I didn't think I nudged the thing, so I canceled it. I thought I was off grid, so I just canceled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell you're on grid here because you're just like low enough to see that. But the thing is, like, you were doing a lot of dash turns in the first half of this run, and you sort of stopped somewhere in the dark world. So I'm gonna guess that the reason you bonked is just because you didn't actually dash turn. Because it seemed like you had the habit in the light world, and then it seems like you don't anymore, even within this one run. So. That's a totally fine strat. Obviously not the optimal strat, but very serviceable. And so I'm very nervous about what's going to happen because this should be like, oh, never mind. Yeah, so this is going to be like an 837. So from entering this door, it's like just under a minute 30 to sort up. Fine. Okay. Yep, all good. Do you feel good about trying next? I mean, that all looked good to me.
Yeah, most of the time I don't have problems.
Okay.
And if that's the case, that's not.
Item dashing is impossible.
GT. I think I can save time in GT. I'm pretty sure it's not that great. Maybe it's like a 753 or some shit.
I hate this dash. Like, you can technically save time with it, but it's quite hard because, like, see, now you overshot a little and you're moving back up, and like now you're probably touching the thing, which is probably costing you. I just walk down, I nudge this a tiny bit, and then cancel with down left to put my dick away.
Sorry, which part do you nudge?
The just like the bottom of the castle.
Oh, okay.
So, oh, come on. So I just hold down left and then I'm gonna nudge this like a tiny bit, and then I'll just cancel with down left. Because you want to put your sword away to save lag, but I think being a frame or two below lined up with the door also saves a couple extra frames of lag. I think that's what Dom said. So I just line up with the grid to make sure that when I cancel down left, I'm not moving like super far away. It's not like important. I just think that like getting rid of a dash that saves up to 2 frames or whatever makes the run a little comfier.
Yeah.
Not doing torch key. This is fine. You want to be doing diagonals here, not cardinals, but it's not a big deal. Oh. More thinking frames here. Look how long you just stand still there.
Yeah.
Needed it. Let's try to not lose power in this room. Yeah, T-Rock on T-Rock, you're totally right. Just be like that.
Oh boy. Was that on purpose? Or were you just trying to get into that
I
gap?
overshot. I try to go in that first gap. I know there is a strat where you push it up, but I don't know what to do in that strat. So I try to go right there.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I overshot it.
Well, I don't do this, and I don't know how good or bad it is, but like I don't know why you're doing this, taking the middle lane here. I just take the bottom lane and go up here.
Okay.
But I don't know the virtues or
Do you
anything of
bonk
the
over the
strat.
fire bar or just hook shot or what?
I use the hook shot. I don't think it really matters much if you bonk or hook.
I'm just thinking I haven't taken the bottom because I didn't beat it, but maybe I just have to test it again.
Oh, maybe.
We were like on the last pixel for that shit.
That's close. Oh, you're staying really far to the right there. Okay. Okay, and we did shoot an extra run, which is not the end of the world.
Sometimes it happens. Happens to me a lot more in Ice Armos than
This is fine. This is a 241 mirror. You want like a 230. Like a 236 is a good mirror. You can do better than that, but I'm generally happy with the 236, so lost a few seconds there. Woo! Yeah, I think this is fine. These thinking frames are not ideal. You're just standing still here after the last
Sure.
arrows. Just something you
Well,
could
I
do a
think
little
in
more
that
fluid.
case I was actually waiting for the spike. I mean, I think you're right because we're watching in slow mo. You could have just gone straight down, but I think I was thinking that I couldn't.
There's also room to start your dash here where you won't get hit and will nudge out
Yep.
the door.
Yep, I've seen that.
This is fine. I actually like this strat. The only thing I don't like is how long you wait between these last 2 arrow shots. Like, not only do you move pretty far between them, you actually stand still for a beat before pressing Y again. I think you could like tighten that up and save, 10 frames.
3 arrows. Oh, I'm not going to do that strat. I've been practicing the arrow strat, which I've never done in an actual run yet. But given that I have 3 arrows, it seems prudent not to do it.
I think your problem here, I don't fully understand every combination of things that can happen in this room, but I think your problem here is you dashed up really far to the right. Do you know that you can't grab crystal switches? Like you can walk all the way into one and start a dash.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so you
I
just
guess
kind
I
of want
haven't
to.
thought about that.
Yeah, so you just kind of want to walk closer to this guy and start your dash up. And then you also cancel this like a little bit early, but it's pretty hard to do this all correctly. It's a tough room.
Yeah.
I think what I would say is you want to cancel this dash a little bit higher and walk a little farther left before slashing, and then just like try to do the end as clean as possible.
Sad.
Nice dodge. Here we just walk it out. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Nice. That was definitely a good way to handle that RNG. If you were holding right here, I don't know why you're holding down, but if you're holding right to follow the Stalfos, you could have just thrown the pot and it would have hit him because the arc of the pot kind of does a parabola.
Right.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. This is fine. That guy got out of your way. I like chasing this guy first just because he's... Like, if you can kill him here and then fix up this guy, that's probably better than if you kill this guy and this guy makes you do another whole loop. And you get him, and you get hit, and then there's no real reason to do this. Like, you could just walk down and slash this guy. But it's okay, we get out of there. We're not doing the Louis arrow, which is tragic, but what are you gonna do?
Should've just tried to go through the door.
420. So I look at gauntlet entry time, which is 341. I'm not that good at this, but you could get gauntlet entry times of like 332 is pretty achievable. I think Aries getting like 328s or whatever. And then you can compare it to your exit time, which was a 420, which means that it was a 39-second gauntlet. If you like really game out of your mind, you could get a 30-second gauntlet. You can't just like do that every time because of RNG and stuff, but like that's what you're looking for if you're really gaming. So pretty big chunk of time loss here. There's some pretty bad RNG here, which was part of it. But like
That's funny too, because this felt like it was a pretty good one for me. I mean, obviously, like the first two rooms were decent, and then I think some of the others weren't as. But
yeah, but you lost a bunch of time in Gauntlet 2 because
Okay, that's a G1 I can get down.
you're doing this strat that's a little more it's a little easier to do, but it's a little more RNG dependent, and then you got some of the RNG where it's not great. And you take your time killing this guy because you're just like taking this path.
yeah,
And then this you get a bad RNG. Which like you didn't handle it terribly, but it was bad RNG and like you wasted a little time up in the corner, so that's a little more time. And then here this part goes fine, and then you slash this guy, and then you like I assume are worried about this guy shooting you.
yeah, I always get hit in this room.
Yeah, but what you want to do is just like wait over here for a beat and then walk over as the door is about to open. Not wait for the door to open and then dodge, you know? Like you're all the way over here when the door opens, so.
I thought I was gonna get blasted.
Then here, these slashes don't do anything. This slash does something, the first two don't. But this is like pretty good actually. You get good RNG and you handle it pretty well. So yeah, it was really 2 and 3, and then leaving 4 cost you the time. And so 423 Lambo 2 exit or entrance. If you have like a good GT, you can finish in like a little under 3 minutes from here. So this is like 7-1 X pace.
There's no need to key dash that room. I don't know why I was like trying to neutral it.
Oh wow. Oh, what is this? Okay, well, good cleanup.
Dash that room.
I would say don't try to be here. Like, even from here, oh, I guess that you're just like, oh, I don't have time to get to this guy in time. That might be true. I think in general you should worry more. No, like you should have shot faster and you should be moving to the right. Like you just want to be kind of up here to deal with the rest of the fight, and as you can see, it goes really poorly. I think if you had like awesome reaction times, you could have cleaned that up better, but it just like wasn't a great spot.
Dash that room. I don't know. I was like trying to neutral it.
It's like it's partly just that you shot a little too early, or like you swung a little too wide left, because if you had just gone straight down, you would have been lined up horizontally, or like lined up vertically to shoot horizontally early enough to get it. But yeah, so that, I mean, that cost you like 6 seconds right there. So that's not ideal. Landmo 2 is kind of a deceptively hard room.
Free hard.
Swing quite wide there, but another thing that's very small. Oops. You swing really wide here too. You kind of want to be centered on this line. This thick line between tiles is what I look at for your sword to hit. You center all the way with the guy, which is pretty far out of your way. So this is fine. The one thing I will say is that there's no reason to go to the left here. If you're dashing and you have any pit state at all, like if you're even 1 pixel touching the pit, you'll just go straight through the pot. You won't have any collision with it at all.
But would I have made it before the firebar came?
No, but you should have like gone straight down a step and then dashed to the right.
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
not saying beat the firebar, just like walk down and towards your destination instead of down and away from your destination. Also, another small thing, you can press Y like here, like right before the pot hits the ground.
Oh, okay.
You wait a little bit longer than necessary.
Okay, I must have misremembered something because I thought you had to specifically wait for that.
Here, you want to walk cardinal down after picking up the pot. See this lag? Watch the lag here. See, there's a ton of lag as the thing is there and you're moving diagonally. If you walk cardinally, you get to avoid some of that lag.
How far though? Did you eventually cut it to a diagonal?
Yeah. But like you see that you're
So just like a tile or two down and then cut?
yeah. You just see how like down here you're walking a ton cardinally anyway. There's just not enough diagonal, so you just want to do
Right.
that movement at the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the jingle.
That room with the torches, I mean, how much time do you lose versus like the fast track? 'Cause I don't even think this is one where I've really given it a solid look to try and actually hit the like fast strat or learn it.
I don't know, like a non-negligible amount of time, but it's pretty hard to do the fast strat.
Okay. It's not. It may not be the best place to invest my time at the moment.
I would not say so. Okay, so in this room, you really want to already be on bombs coming into this room. This is a bastard door, which means that if you're holding down left in it, you drag because it's a bastard door, but while dragging in a bastard door, you can use items. So you can place your bomb while you're still right inside the doorway.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And one of the really cringe things about the world is that he might have finally fixed it. But for a very long time on this preset, this wasn't a bastard door.
Well, and I'm not playing on the latest version of the hack either, so.
It is now. Yeah. Are you still on? No, you're on console. Why aren't you on the latest version of the hack?
It doesn't work for me. It like crashes to that like sheep looking screen or whatever. So
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. 14 point whatever is not. It's no good for me.
Probably just a console, like a minorly imperfect console. Anyway, you have to start from this preset, from the Torches 2 preset, because you have to actually open the door and get it to be a bastard door. The 649.
Oh, so we're talking about like 11
I
frames.
did that kind of fast, but I think I did something different than what you're doing, because, yeah.
Well, I don't dash on the bottom, I don't think.
I guess that makes sense if you're waiting at the top anyway. So yeah, probably in the neighborhood of 20 frames, 15, 20 frames, something like that. Yeah, anyway, sorry. So you will want to have to start from that preset and then use a save state here or something. But you hold down left and press Y immediately, and you can just place the bomb instantly. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If you have 9 hearts, you don't need to be worrying about taking damage here. There's nothing scary left.
In terms of what? Taking damage from that bomb on the screen before or what?
I mean, you can deboost through this guy to save like a second or whatever.
Oh, sure.
You can also walk across these spikes, but that only saves like 4 frames, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
Not even really worth pointing out. Okay, this room is a catastrophe. Because you're standing neutral here, which seems very weird. I guess that's not why it goes to hell. Oops. What do you actually do here? You just get an up left input by accident, I guess. I don't know, you're like perfectly aligned and then you just move way out of the way. Oh.
Can't get chest as a bunny. Okay, that's probably.
You got surprised by the jingle. Anyway, you don't want to... I'm controlling this really badly. You don't want to neutral here. There's no reason to do that.
Like just keep holding down.
Yeah. You do want to make sure you don't throw this pot as fast as humanly possible, but you do want to walk down while you're moving, while you're here.
I can't get chest as a bunny. Okay, that's probably the best thing to do. This has been a room.
But yeah, this floor has cost you a ton of time and seems like a good place to get more comfortable. There is no reason to slash your sword here before dashing. What's up, Malmo? Thanks for the raid. How'd the race go? There's this, yeah, just no reason to do that. Best that's fine though, I think. You died to blind? Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe I 2-cycle Aga that one. Fucker's ready for it. Kind of give it to him.
So yeah, like Lammo 2, the last floor were like the big hotspots here. And let's see. You enter this at 6:42. So with a 4 cycle, it's a minute from here to landing. Thanks, checks. You do want to grab this wall, both for text and also these shades generate lag. So if you're grabbing this wall, you want to let go like no earlier than this to save 10 frames of lag or whatever. This isn't gonna work, is it? Ooh, wow, that worked. I would have stood here, I think, and gone for slashes. Aga 2 is like kind of out of scope. It's like such an enormous subject on its own. This is like definitely a deboost RNG.
4.
I can't believe you're getting away with this. Okay, not quite.
Should have stayed over there. What was I thinking?
Well, we got 4 cycles, so this will be like a
It's fine.
743 or something, 742.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Let's finish her up.
I assume we close this out normally, because I think you save time on Ganon. Looks pretty normal. You really do want to slash him ASAP. You are losing time when you are late to this slash.
Yeah, I mean that seems to happen to me on the first slot. Like if he doesn't warp the first time, like it can be hard to safely get to him. Because if you slash
not
down
in-
there, you're gonna get bounced back, right?
So you're not in any danger. If you take a hit from a bird, it does not matter. You're never nothing
That's
else
true.
in this fight can possibly hit you. You're good enough at the game. So you can
Yeah,
just
just knowing my health in
Yeah.
the situation. Yeah, okay.
but also if you were walking straight up from like here and you slashed him, I think you'd just not hit the bat anyway.
Don't warp him.
Yeah, like you can be a little more comfortable. Like you're getting good enough at the game that you can get a little more comfortable with using your hearts as a resource
Be chill and
instead of
cool.
always trying to preserve maximum health. Nice zero warps. This is the hardest bottom RNG to get the double on, so I understand not going for it. This menu,
Yeah, I mean I used to go for some doubles, and lately I just have been trying to take the free hit and just go for it.
That's fine.
'cause-
the menu is right down. You did left up, I think, which is 3 moves instead of 2. It's totally fine to not go for any triples if you're not comfortable with them. Or any doubles, I mean. It's not fine to not go for triples. That was a very late torchlight. You want to shoot like now-ish? You could have still gotten that, but it was very tight. So that's about 3 seconds lost.
Not gonna get it.
This one, the problem was... Well, the problem starts here, arguably. You want to bait this fire bat here, and then spin towards the middle of the room. And you're over here, and then you slash too early, and you're kind of struggling to get in position. Because what you want is to be lower, so that you spin into the pit. Because now you're like... You're actually totally fine here, except that you're holding up, because you kind of forgot that it was the third one, maybe? And so now you're like just not in position to do this. You should have been facing left with your sword out like 20 frames before you were, and then you would have had time to back up and line up so you can just walk straight up after lighting the torch. And so now you lose about another 3 seconds here. Also, in addition to that, this is plenty far to the right to hit this spin. I think you could probably hit it from here.
Not gonna get it.
Okay, it's not how I would do that, but it worked out okay.
Can I get this one?
Again, spin into the pit. Very good. Again, you're just like, you're not ready for the next thing in time. So here, like, I assume you're counting. So you know that it's the third spin. So you know that what you want to do is face left, hold your sword out, and get ready to light the torch, right? But instead you, like, walk up a bunch. Not really sure why, because it doesn't look like you're doing something. It looks like your plan is kind of right, but, like,
Can I get this one?
Yeah, maybe I'm just worried about the push into the pit, and I'm holding it too long after.
I think you're holding up right when you should be holding up left. Well, let's finish watching the fight, actually, before we get into it. So you lost,
I missed too many spins.
you've missed the first spin 3 times now, which is like 9-ish seconds lost. Plus not
Right.
going for the early double. So you gave up about 12 seconds on this fight.
Not bad.
So you should get like a 154 or something. 155.
Oh, I lost some frames.
Oh, maybe you lost something else. Or maybe it was different RNG than I'm remembering. Yeah, pretty good. Lucentio. Yo. Thanks for the 10 stream streak checks. So I have a whole video about this, which I'm sure you know. But I will try to give some of the things in abbreviated form here. One thing I like to do in phase 3 is poke dashes because they guarantee a first frame hit. It's not that hard to get a first frame hit with slashes, so like not a big deal.
That's why some people spin him too, right?
Yeah, I don't like spinning because you don't really have enough time to spin every time if he's warping a bunch. But so I want to spin towards the middle of the room or towards the pit. That was too early. And as you can see there, you can go like really deep inside him. But you just like, you always got to be prepared for your next torchlight on the third spin. Like I'm recoiling into the pit because like I want to be, you regain control faster that way after the spin. And then I walk straight down and light the torch, and then I would have immediately spun except my timing's off. But now I'm gonna have to light the torch again, so I hold up left and just like slash. Some of this is just like timing, like getting familiar with when you're gonna regain control of Link.
Yeah, and I believe there was a thing on the SNES Classic where you can't do any kind of save state to save the fourth phase state. You just have to do the whole fight. So that's how I'm used to doing it, and I don't have as many reps just at the back end of it too. So
right.
I just need to like make a save state at phase 4 and or the end of phase 3 and just do it a ton, I think.
That's how I did it. I recommend making a save state.
With like one hit left so you can get different RNGs.
I recommend doing it with 2 hits left to get a better diversity of transition RNGs. I feel like there were specific things I was hoping to highlight, and I'm not really doing a good job. I've just kind of gotten hypnotized by the fight. So this is probably not super helpful. Yeah. But yeah, just like, the problems really were, where you're just like not ready for the torch relights. And so you missed the first spin 3 out of 4 times. That's really all. So you just got to get practice with that, I think.
Is there something that I could be doing wrong that would delay that too? Because I think that's also why I'm hesitant to go for the early double in a lot of RNGs, is just because I will miss it a lot. Like I don't estimate the time that the like, you know, recoiling into the pit does or something.
Yeah, I think part of it is just you're not comfortable with when you're going to regain control.
Like, I guess it's faster than I think.
Yeah, because we'll see this here in a second. That one you were just late to light the torch. That one you don't really have an excuse for. You're gonna... oh, you don't go to the pit in that one. But I think you might have thought you were going to. That's like kind of a bad spot to be in, because if he had warped... if this warp had been to this location... I mean, maybe you're reacting to it and you go over here on reaction, If this warp had been on this location, you would have had to go down and light the torch from the right. But this worked, so like maybe you're just doing it because you saw which way he warped. So here
Yeah,
you're
I think
gonna
I do look at that.
yeah, so that's totally fine. So here you're gonna spin into the pit, and then you walk up like a full tile up after regaining control, which is like you walk diagonally. Like you regain control here, and you walk diagonally up to here. That's like 14 frames or something. And then why does left sometimes do? Maybe it's if it's playing or not. Sorry, I don't fully understand the controls of this app.
Not gonna get it.
No, I can't get back to the point I wanted to be at. But my point is just like you do this big, yeah, here we go. You do this big swing right. Oh, that's still not it. You do a big walk upright and then a big swing left before getting back and fully in control. There we go. So you walk like a tile upright and then like almost a tile left before actually slashing your sword. And so you needed to throw this torch from here, like, I don't know, 10 frames earlier or something, to make this really easy for you. And it's just like a bunch of sort of not quite being in position. But yeah, I think that, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this, it seems like you were like basically trying to do the right stuff, but not fully in control at some unfortunate times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there you go, GG, that's the whole run.
That is the whole run.
Would have been a PB without all the stuff that happened in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but I guess I did also get 0 warps, which is pretty fortuitous.
Yes, yeah, that definitely helps. I see. You sent me a picture of your splits the other day. This is a 3024 Light World and a 5805 Dark World. Do you track your Dark World times at all?
I've started to now, yeah. I mean, I track all my runs that I finish and ones that I don't reset in like the first 10 minutes or something. I
Yeah.
basically consider like there's something that like just I need to warm up just like the movement and just, you know, I don't really even almost consider a reset to just like reset after Eastern. Like I'm like, one reset, whatever.
Yeah.
Got to get warmed up. So yeah, I usually will track the Dark World times of any run that I finish and look at it now. And I've gone back and added that time to other ones and figured it out. So in the sheet that I track it in, I have like a column for that to look at it. So I think this is only 2 seconds worse than my Dark World from my PB. Which,
Yeah,
considering how
you
Turtle
lose
Rock
3
went-
seconds here, or you lose 2.9 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, considering how Turtle Rock went, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, the rest of it, you were gaining time, you had a gold thieves. Like, I think for your level, this is a pretty respectable pod, a good thieves, a good skull. And then some things go wrong. But like even the GT wasn't bad, and then you got 0 warps really helps a lot. The swamp I think was totally fine for your level, although like as you've identified, there's a lot of relatively easy time save there. Yeah, I mean obviously this GT can come down a lot.
Yeah.
This Turtle Rock can come down a lot. What was your
Right.
gold Turtle Rock? Let me scroll back.
It's like probably like a
756.
Yeah, I've gotten in. I think in a Dark World run, I think I've gotten a 749 or 51 or something.
Yeah, I think. Oh, my splits don't say what my TR gold was back this far back. Split layout is so much better now. My 120. No, that's a 126. That's not helpful at all. I'm just trying to get a feel for what my gold was at the time. I'm looking. So my 128.28, which is almost the same as this PB, had a 738 Turtle Rock, which is like a 8 16 or something, so it's actually way worse than this one. My 127.15, which was my next PB after that, had a 720, which would be like a 758.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy if I get a sub 8 right now, and I'm not like mad if it's like a OX.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should probably be shooting for like getting down close to the 740,
Yeah.
74x range. And the GT, I mean, it would be interesting to see like more of your GTs, right? Because some of this was just like you kind of got owned in Lambo 2 and whatever. But a lot of GT, like, are you like, do you suck at Lambo 2 or was this like a weird day? Like, that kind of thing. It kind of looks like you don't have a great, like the last floor, those 4 rooms, that looked like something that you need to practice. The Lambo 2 thing looked like it could go either way, and then the rest is just like a lot of tightening up, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly gotten 1 cycles on it.
Yeah.
A number of times. So, but I've also had worse gauntlets or had other stuff go wrong. So
it's hard to make it all the way through.
Yeah, across the entire fairly long split. I mean, not technically the longest, but for most people, it's the longest.
Yeah, well, it depends on where you do your shopping, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, do you have anything else? I think we've pretty much gone through everything.
We did. Thank you for this. This was very helpful. And I think it's funny because a lot of it, I think, is just like some of it's like just knowing which strats to upgrade or which things are the biggest time losses or whatever, just to have an idea of like what should I work on first, or like, you know, some of this stuff. I mean, I started running the game in 2016, so some of it I'm just like, if it's a room that goes smoothly and I don't think I'm losing a ton of time there, you know, I don't tend to like look deeply at it, but it is like some of those little rooms like that. It's like just the way that I'm talking and stuff, or I mean, walking with the Cardinals or something. It's like there's probably 5 frames to save there easy, and just need to spend a couple minutes on it.
Yeah. Thanks for the gift subs.
Well, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, no worries. I enjoy doing this. I haven't done one in a long time, and it's like, you know, kind of a big commitment, but it is fun to do every once in a while. But yeah, I think that the way I think about it is there's like a couple different ways to get faster times, and one of them is just like learning stuff, and that doesn't always feel that fun. It's not very exciting to be like, oh, I could have cut a diagonal faster and saved like 5 frames. Like 5 frames doesn't feel that important, and it doesn't really feel like you're like gaining skill when you just like do a slightly different walk pattern that happens to be faster. And so people tend to focus, myself included, tend to focus all their time on like, you know, eking out 20 frames in like a really complicated room. It's like doing a really fast mimics room, or like really nailing Lambo or whatever. Because that stuff is more exciting and it's more challenging and more rewarding and so on. But like, you're at the point where, especially because you learned so long ago and you haven't done a room grind in a long time, there's just a lot of rooms where it's just like, oh, you know, if you just hold diagonal here, you can save 5 frames. And that does add up over time.
Yeah, and maybe my approach, you know, I always find it hard to figure out what the balance is, but I think my approach is going to be to kind of like look at this segment by segment and do more of a segment grind, and then mix in runs when I like finish a segment or something, because I get bored doing the room grind. Like I just lose attention, or I just can't do it the way some people can just go room by room and do the same room over and over and over again. So when you segment grind, one, like it's a small commitment, and it feels easy to go for hard stuff, but also like you're not going to get a good time on a segment if you're not consistent either. So it helps me balance that, I think. And also I can just immediately jump out of something and be like, all right, I've done this twice in a row, and I had problems with this room twice in a row. So like, I need to look at the room.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, doing a whole room grind is hard to talk yourself into.
Yeah, and I mean, I love StratHub, but it is not the fastest. So sometimes like comparing or looking at stuff there can be frustrating, like just waiting for it too.
Yes, indeed.
I'm very glad that the resource exists, though. It is great to have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Are you going to do your all dungeons now?
No, I don't think I can do one tonight. I've got a thing at 9, so.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to be done streaming now.
Cool. Well, thank you for this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
See ya. Have a good one. I guess we're going to raid Spleeby, who's doing AD RMG co-op. Oh, they're practicing. That's a cute emote, Senti. I don't know if you're still here. All right, goodbye forever.